This is the most insane stat in all of Apex Legends. Only one person has ever done it, and that is having every single pred badge in the entire game. All the Battle Royale ones for every split, all the Arena ones for every split. So let's go have a look at all those ranked badges and get his top tips on how to rank up in Apex. I so red I can't see what's real. Roll me up a blunt dog. But how many pred badges is every pred badge? Well, ranked came out all the way back in season 2 of Apex, when it was just one rank split per season, till season 4, where it was split up into 2 splits per season. Then ranked arenas came out in season 10, where it was also 2 rank splits per season. So that means in total, he has 38 Predator badges, and no one else has that in the entire world. He is the only person. But who is this cracked gamer? Well, this is no other than Honored Flyer. He is an absolute goat of the Apex community, and along with all these 38 pred badges, soon to be 39 after this current split, he also holds 5 other #1 records. He has been #1 on Xbox for BR Apex, #1 on Xbox for Arenas Xbox. He had the most kills in Season 11. He also had the most wins in Season 3 and the longest win streak ever in Apex of 403 on Xbox. Well, now that we all know who this GOAT is, it's time to get into the important stuff. The #1 ranked player overall has given us his best rank tips, and he's broken them down to 3 different aspects. First off, overall rank tips, then the rank tips for being aggressive, and also the ratting rank tips. And in the background as well, you're going to be seeing some of his own gameplay. This is his world record most kills ever on a Catalyst, where he gets a 30 plus bomb. So let's do it. So let's start off with his overall tips for rank. First off, he says to make sure you play based on your team's capabilities. Some teammates you get aren't going to be as good as others and won't have the ability to hard frag out. So you're going to be forced to play a little bit slower, especially if you're solo queuing. Look what your teammates picks and, play off the game style that their legends provide, or try and communicate with them and work that out. Always try and set up, position yourself on high ground, as it gives you the best advantage to win 99% of fights. Don't get KP hungry. So many people get KP hungry. They int the third party because they see easy KP, and they get into the third party themselves and die. Don't give up your high ground unnecessary, especially never in late game. Those few KP you can get from dropping off high ground at third party or fight are not worth potentially throwing the entire game and winning the game just for that. Look around before landing to have third party knowledge. So what he means by that is to make sure that you know what other teams are at POIs close to you. So if you landed at, say on Storm Point, you landed at Mills, make sure you know what teams are landing at Broken Beast or that little other third party town to the side, so that you could come get third party very easily. Know what to expect and what's about to happen and where teams are going to rotate into you from. With or without beacon, always put yourself in a spot that's comfortable to hold and will have easy rotates to the next zone that isn't on you. On that note as well, it's not too hard to learn where the zones pull, although zones have been a little bit weird, a little bit funny recently they're pulled. But largely, if you look at the direction the zone's pulling on the map, it'll continue pulling that direction and that way most of the time. Little tip there. And lastly, for his overall tips, he says make sure there's always good cover and line of sight before you move to your new location, so that you're not going to get beamed in the open and absolutely destroyed. Next up, we have his tips for being the aggressors in fights. What that means is you're the team that's pushing the point. You're the team, trying to make the fight happen, being the aggressors and forcing the fight. He says the longer the fight takes, the higher the third party chances, which is very true. If you feel like you've been fighting for a while with no result, then usually it's best to back off and disengage. So this means basically, if you're not getting there with the fight, if it's taken ages, back off and disengage, because usually third parties will show up and you don't want to get caught fighting when the third party shows up. And if you disengage and put yourself in a good position, then it's usual that the third party is going to fight the other team, and you can go back in third party, get on top. It's third party inception, boys. This next tip is one that I actually like a lot. It's about validating your knocks. What that means is when you knock someone, if you get the chance, it's always good to thirst it. Because it means that, it takes out the res potential from them. Even if you get third party, you'll still get the KP. They can't reset, a 2v3 into being with 3v3 with the res if that does damage to you. It opens up an armor swap and more loot to you guys. It's really nice. It's good. Up next, he says, always acknowledge the fights you take. Is it really smart to fight there? Or are you just pushing the point trying to get some KP? Always make sure that the fights you're taking are smart. Up next, he says prioritize your life over looting, which is very true. It's always better to be alive with no loot than dead with lots of loot. And lastly, in the aggressive tips, he says to play with your team. And I agree with this completely. I think it's better if your teammates commit, it's better to commit with them than to not commit. It's always better to play as a team basically no matter what. But of course, do try and communicate the smart plays. Oh, but with the aggressive ones, before we move on to ratting, lastly, which is very important that he messaged me about and I completely agree on, is taking angles. Aggressive gameplay doesn't have to be just hard instant into a fight or hard instant into a third party. You can still play aggressive by working around the edge of a fight. Take those angles, get the openings, get damage. The more angles you have, the harder it is for the other team to play off, heal, get resets, etc. But do be careful you don't get hard into it. If the other team is smart and they see you take an angle and you're not, in good cover, or the other teammates don't have line of sight of you, for example, they could eat you 3v1 and it could go bad. But angles are very important. Always try and take angles. Now, for those ratting tips, be stealthy was his #1 tip. I like it. Play for placement, perfect. That's how you rat. Get all that RP. Find a good spot in mid-zone or rat on the far edge, which is very true. I actually probably prefer ratting on the edge these days because mid-zone with all the seers and even some bloodhounds is kind of sketchy, Back in the day, it was really good to rat in final zone, but these days it's a little bit more sketchy. Move literally when with the zone, crouch walking, or when there's a loud noise like gunfire to cover your noise. Yep, exactly. The zone makes a lot of noise, so if you crouch walk in with that, less chance of people hearing you. Same move when there's a gunfight, they're distracted and they won't hear you move either. This is one of the biggest ratting tips for me, and one of the most, I guess, hardest to do, you could say as well. It's knowing when to shoot and when not to shoot. Yeah, a lot of times when you're going to have people in front of you who don't know you're there, and your chance to one mag them is huge. But unless you know it's a solo and you're not going to get insta-killed by a third party after, don't do it. Be very, very careful on that trigger discipline. When you're ratting as well, don't move in different directions as your character will animate you doing that. It makes you a lot easier to pick up because movement is obviously a lot easier to spot than someone not moving. This goes along with healing and reloading as well. It's very loud, makes lots of noises, so only do it if you know you're safe to, or there's a big fight going on, or something that's going to mask the noise. Doing it, if there is a team in front of you as well, you don't have to try and rat and run past them. A lot of the time, you can mirror a team. A lot of the times, if a team doesn't know you are behind them, they largely won't check their back because they'll think it's safe. So you will be able to mirror them and just walk in behind them and stay safe. There are his tips. Hopefully they helped a little bit. Maybe they can help you get to Pred one day. Who knows? But yeah, we're going to continue watching the rest of his insane 30-bomb Catalyst game. Make sure you guys do check him out as well. His links will be in the description, the comments, and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's watch this Catalyst insane gameplay.
Oh. For sniping, bro. How did that hit me? He stalked me through my wall! Oh, where's the prompt? Give me the prompt. Oh Jesus. Dude, if that guy grabs banner and reses, that would be huge. Boys. Tag him. Bro. That's like 2 kills lost right there. I'm trying to find this guy. And he just rezzed? It's gonna be out of storm, but it's really close to it. Bro, oh my god, if he rezzed both of them. Ooh. Yippee! If I die, I'm gonna be... Okay, I think he did res both. Getting nervous. What about this man? Probably stop for safety. Oh my bang. Where's his fuse? And one shot. Let's go! Oh my god! Queen! Nice.